How you doing, everybody? And thanks for tuning in here to Wilde's Mailbox on ESPNMilwaukee.com and ESPNMadison.com. Got a couple of emails today after we had Mike Neal on Green and Gold today. They all asked the same question, essentially. What are the Packers going to do at defensive end, and what kind of a role will Mike Neal play in 2011? Mike Neal only played in 2 regular season games last season. He had a rib injury that bothered him early in the season, a pulled muscle in his side, and then he had the shoulder injury that ended his season and he landed on injured reserve. He was pretty impressive both in the preseason and training camp and in the 2 games he did play before the shoulder injury in Washington. But this is a guy that this team is definitely going to have to count on because of the situation at defensive end. We've talked about Cullen Jenkins a lot on the show and in our stories. He clearly is expecting to be playing elsewhere in 2011. He went to the team before the season looking for a contract extension. That did not happen. There was no contact after the season before the lockout began. He expects to be going elsewhere, and as mentioned by one reporter this week, maybe even the Bears could be interested. Then there's the situation with Johnny Jolly, who has been arrested once again in Houston. He remains jailed in a Harris County, Texas jail until at least April 20th, when he is due in court next. His future, both with the Packers and in a free society, in question. There were a lot of people who thought that because Johnny Jolly was on his way to potential reinstatement, that's what made Cullen Jenkins expendable. Now, I did talk to one person within the organization who thought that the Packers may talk to Cullen Jenkins once they're able to and gauge whether he's still interested in coming back and what it would take to get him to come back. But I would expect that he will get a large offer elsewhere, and we know the Packers aren't going to pay a ton of money to a player who is 30 years old and has an injury history. That is the type of player that Ted Thompson prefers not to pay big money to. So they have Ryan Pickett as one of their defensive end starters. They like C.J. Wilson. They were happy with what they got out of Jarius Wynn when he came back after being released. They brought him back after Justin Harrell's knee injury in the opener in Philadelphia. And they're excited about Howard Green. He is under contract for 2011, and they liked what they got from the big fella when he came in from the Jets midway through last season. But I think Mike Neal is going to be the key there. I think they expect him to be the starter at that position. I would expect them to draft another defensive end at some point during the draft. Probably not my guy J.J. Watt, unfortunately. He'll be long gone. I don't think the Packers will be able to trade up to go get him. But they will have to add some sort of defensive end, I think, in the draft because they don't have a ton of depth, with Jenkins likely to be gone and with Johnny Jolly not likely to be rejoining the team anytime soon. We were way overdue for a Wilde's Mailbox, so we're going to try and do some more as the draft approaches. We'll also start our draft preview in the coming days and weeks, so look out for that. If you have a question you'd like to have used on Wilde's Mailbox, you can certainly email it to me at jwilde@espnwisconsin.com, or you can use Twitter. You can direct it at JasonJWilde, or you can use our little hashtag of Wilde's Mailbox. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.